Right, now let's quickly talk about Komatsu, which is a company we've never discussed on this show before. It's listed in Tokyo. It's headquartered in Tokyo. The company name apparently is from a town in Japan, which is where the company was established in 1921. Got very busy with manufacturing industrial and other machinery equipment during World War II, and is now one of these global players in much the same arena as Caterpillar is. So that's what you will perhaps have noticed if you travel around. Market capitalization 2.8 trillion Japanese yen, which, if you are good at maths and know what the exchange rate is, gets you back, I think, to about 26 or thereabouts billion US dollars.
That, yeah.
So smaller than Deere and definitely smaller than Caterpillar, but a nice company all the same. Price to earnings ratio 20.86, dividend yield 1.96. The funny thing is, when they started, everybody said, oh, this cheap Japanese stuff, it's not as good as the Americans. Yeah. They are now at a level equivalent, I'm sure, to Caterpillar. And they talk about the Chinese as being, the cheap.
The new cheap rubbish, yes. Yeah, exactly. That's how things work. That's, you're going to see
the
that
cycle of life.
In 50 years' time, the Chinese will be complaining about an African country that comes out and starts manufacturing these things. So, yeah, very good brand as well. Komatsu's around. You see it everywhere in construction sites. You see it in mines. Direct competitor to Caterpillar, pretty much. They play in the same space, but also fairly expensive. It's run fairly hard. The most recent results were actually it had a worse time in the bad years, and it seems to be recovering a lot better. So it seems as if it's more geared to a recovery. I mean, last earnings post was, I think, up more than 100% on revenues and 46% on earnings or something like that. So it was big. So I think these, or the other way around, sorry. So I think it's a similar play to Caterpillar. I think I think the results will be there in the future, but what is the price saying?
Okay, I know it may seem like a bit of a rude question, but we are in a world where Asia appears to be in something of a flux situation. I mean, it's just bizarre that we're having this conversation, but what about the threat to Japanese companies and to the Asian regional economy in the event that there is a substantial elevation of risk issues arising out of North Korea and all of that stuff?
That could be a concern. A company like this is global, though. These stocks are listed in certain jurisdictions, but they're really global players. I mean,
they've got manufacturing facilities in the US, Europe, all over the show.
Yeah, they just happen to be listed in Tokyo. So I don't know if a company like this would be too affected. I hate to say it. I hate to sound to this without taking it the wrong way. A threat like that could be positive for construction
in the
companies.
same way that, for example, the Harvey hurricane in Texas is going to be positive for purchases of earth-moving equipment because there's a lot of cleaning up to do.
So and you haven't really seen that in the prices yet. You haven't seen any speculation yet in the prices, but it potentially could happen.
Okay, so it becomes really like a relative play. Let's go back to the valuation discussion. What's your view of Komatsu? Would you buy them over that of Caterpillar, or would you?
So this is a tough question. I've been playing with this one in my head. I think if we're going to see positive results coming out of them, I do think Komatsu will probably outperform Caterpillar in terms of growth from here. So I would tend, if I was going to play it, I'd probably play Komatsu over Caterpillar.
And as a matter of reference, even though Komatsu is principally listed in Japan, there is an ADR, which means American Depository Receipts. You can buy them if you've got an account in New York. Not quite as actively traded, because the way those ADRs work is people who want to own them in the US will buy them there, and then the share price is sort of matched dollar to yen exchange rate, all comes into it. Some of those ADRs are very liquid, very easy to get into and out of. Some of them are a little bit less. I think Komatsu's is probably at the little bit less scale. It's not a stock that
I don't think it's
universe
really
of people really want to own in America.
By a lot of people,
But you like the outlook. You think the cycle looks good, and you're going to go hot on this one?
I'll put it in the same bracket as Caterpillar for now. I think the price could come down. It's run fairly hard, so I would say neutral, neutral to hot. Let's say mildly hot, mildly warm.
Okay, I'm going to go hot with you on that one. Right.